Welcome back to the Profits of IT, the podcast where we sit down with the smartest people in IT and pull out insights that actually move the needle. I'm your host, Jim Punzenberger, creator of ManageProspectingSystem.com. And before we begin, a quick word from our sponsor that just happens to be ManageProspectingSystem.com, which is a three-pillar system that helps IT companies generate predictable leads through authority content, LinkedIn outreach, and targeted email campaigns. Be done hoping the phone rings and ready for real pipeline. Head to ManageProspectingSystem.com after the show. So, I'm excited about today's guest. He has a resume that reads like a classified briefing. 25 years of delivering software solutions for DoD, the State Department, and University of California. Benny Keith, and a long list of small to medium-sized manufacturers across the country also. He's an experienced AI developer, user, and advocate who is focused on something I think our audience desperately needs: practical AI, not just hype, not just buzzwords, real thing. So Trevor, welcome to Profits of IT, and feel free to say hi to the audience.
Hello, everyone. Hey, glad to be here. Getting to talk about this, share the insights, and share my energy towards the actual use of AI in the business is really exciting for me.
I'm excited to have you on and to learn myself. So let's jump right into it. Get to the one of my favorite segments is what we call the truth bomb here on Profits of IT. And yours is going to shock a lot of people. You said the biggest misconception in the field is that custom software is more expensive than off-the-shelf software. Now, every business owner I've ever talked to always assumes that the opposite is the case, that, custom software is always more expensive. So, how is that not the case?
Well, in a lot of these implementations, right? I've talked to and worked with a lot of business owners who are picking up the pieces from their failed implementation. And it would be some sort of um, ERP, CRM, um, MES system that they were trying to implement, right? Just recently, as 2 weeks ago, they spent a year trying to implement the system to the tune of $1 million. When it came down to it, yes, the system says that your monthly cost is based on your per users, right? And your per users is okay. Every month it'll be around like 3,500 a month, right, for your users to be able to use this software. But then inside of that, then comes the other cost, the implementation cost. And that's where custom software competes very well with most of these off-the-shelf software. Because to implement and to do the things that make the software yours, guess what you're doing?
You're customizing it.
You are customizing,
You're developing.
right? You're trying to
Yep.
convert your data into their model. And then when your data doesn't turn into their model, you have to then pay for the customization, which then normally is somewhere in the tune of a developer or someone that costs $200 an hour or something, right?
Right.
And that story keeps on playing over and over again. But people say, but yeah, but they have this report and that supposed report. And then what I hear 2 years later is we never used any of those other reports and all. We really just want this module because these things are the things that we work with and use,
Yep.
you know? And so that's where the truth bomb is when you consider the $150,000 cost of custom software. That's what it is. That's for implementing, that's for customizing, that's for transforming your data.
So instead of like spending $3,500 a month on software licenses and spending and hiring somebody to customize it to make it to try to make it work for you, which doesn't mean the other thing too is it doesn't mean that the developer is going to be able to what actually take this piece of software and make it do what you want it to do because it may or may not be designed to do what you want to do.
Well, one, it may or may not be designed to do what you need it to do. That's first.
Yeah.
Second, they may not want to design it to do what you want it to do because then it might inhibit the ability for somebody else to use it for what they need it to do. And so there's not only the consideration of you, there's the consideration of every other customer on the software.
And so what you're saying is you could just develop your own custom software, get it to do exactly what you need to do, and it's like the same cost of uh, the off-the-shelf software. But by the
Yes,
time you're done with the when you trying to implement it.
yes. And
Well,
so that's the thing that a lot of people that's hidden that a lot of people get surprised about when we actually talk about custom software because they're like, oh, well, nobody else will be able to support it. There are tons of custom software vendors out there. These coding and tools that we use are standard. And so you're not going to get dropped into some weird language. Okay, so like if it's something that you've never heard of, and this is here, I got another bomb. In today's world, the AI can tell you what's standard and what's consistent out there and where there's developer support.
yeah, so the really it sounds like it's a no-brainer to not just build custom software and use it get exactly what you need then.
Well, it isn't because there's also then the consideration of what is standard,
Yeah.
right? Like things like accounting are very standardized. Salesforce does have a really great CRM, same with HubSpot and some of those other tools, right? If there are basic processes that like don't require a lot of like your culture and you're looking for something to standardize you and guide you into, hey, what does the industry do as a process instead of using your own or having a strong home built culture that uses terminology, has a several steps, whereas the regular process would just tell you to go step A, step B, step C. You have step E and F somewhere around there, right? When it's a strong homegrown business process that makes your business work, then that's where custom software really makes a difference.
Got it. Well, that's a really interesting thought. Let's shift gears here a moment and talk about your $1 million learning moment. I like to hear, what's you've learned in the past, and the $1 million learning moment is typically something that you've learned greatly from, and maybe it didn't go right the way that you expected it. And when we talked earlier, you gave me two lessons that I think are both worth unpacking. The first one, you learned that people buy from people and people buy value. That sounds obvious, but for a guy with 25 years of technical delivery, when did that actually click?
So I used to sell local advertising in Jacksonville, Florida, right? For the dominant t television station out there at the time. And I would just call people and say, our numbers are great, right? Because I was a young salesperson. It didn't dawn on me why someone else with way less numbers and all would beat me in any sort of competition. If I saw an advertiser, I figured I could just go pick up the phone from a competing station and just say our numbers are better and it'll work. And that didn't work that well. And I was puzzled forever, right? And then it smacked me like a ton of bricks one day. It really did. Eh, when I was talking to a when I was talking to the team as we were redesigning the FAFSA form, and they said, we're not just looking for more technology, we're looking for ways to help people because this form is treacherous for them and it's scary and all. And so more technology isn't valuable to us. And I'm like, it's not? Well,
What do you mean?
what do you mean more technology isn't valuable to you? They're like, more speed isn't valuable, right? Making the form faster, that's not valuable, right? What they said, what we're looking for is simplicity. And I was hired on as the usability designer on that project, right? And and the specifications. And what I found was that the value was in the ability to find the information you needed when you need it. Because somebody would start the form and the form would time out 3/4 of the time while they were in the middle of the form trying to find the information about what they're putting on their student's loan form. And so, yeah, you have the security of timing out, and yeah, you have this like fast form that would load, but none of that mattered because by the time they found what they were looking for, it was timed out. And
Yeah.
so instead of like trying to fill it out once, they'd fill it out 3 times. And I was like, value. Okay, that's why I could never sell that spot because I wasn't presenting a value proposition that made sense, right? He was
Mhm.
looking for like this one advertiser, he goes, that's not valuable to me, right? And I'm like, no, and he goes, no. See, like when I put my ads out, kids with that are looking for band instruments, they come to my store because because it's in places that like they are so that it's
Mhm.
valuable. And I'm like, this makes no sense. I'm showing
Yeah.
it to more people. Like it just didn't hit me, you
Right.
know?
Like more the showing it to more people that didn't have kids in band didn't matter to
Exactly. Yeah, you can show it to thousands of
them.
people. They don't have kids in band, you know? And so and that when I finally understood that like impactful value makes a difference. And that's where like a lot of what I do now with our cultural design processes is about like the impactful value to the team. Because the person running the machine doesn't want to walk halfway across the shop floor to go and input the information, right? That's impractical. They don't want to sit there and fill out a 10 field, 20 field form to tell somebody what they did, right?
Right.
It's
Uh,
like that's great for you in the office who doesn't have a bunch of machines and everything going. For me, I'm on a time clock to deliver this many of these things in this amount of time. And so how can I efficiently, effectively share that information with you? And that makes both of our lives better and there's a value to it.
Definitely. So I think this is a good segue into what's got you excited at letter B.
What's got me excited really is our latest value push. And honestly, this goes directly into our AI, practical AI stuff, right? Um, I am I've been like a kid in a candy store showing this to all of our current customers about how we'll use this to enhance their applications. One of our customers, for example, I showed it to them and they said, wait a minute, can you get me a usage report out of this? And I said, ask it. And boom, there was a usage report, right? After a couple times of just refining the prompt that they have been searching for 6 months. And they're like, we could never get our reports to show the usage and then break it down by type and all. And I said, and that's the power of us integrating the AI into your business. It can go and pull the data together in ways that you or your team can't figure out how to write the SQL for. And then you'd come to me and be asking for a report. Now, the question becomes, right, is that not biting your own hand off? And the
Right.
answer is no, no, it's not. Because if I deliver you value, then your business grows and there's going to be more things to do, right? The AI is going to only open up time to be for us to be more effective.
Yes. So, if you pique somebody's interest and they would like to learn more, what would be a good way of getting in touch with you, Trevor?
Yeah, so they can go check out our website, letterbellc.com, or connect with us on tbowlers at letterbglobal.com. We're in the middle of a name change, right? And our website hasn't been changed yet. But it's getting there, right? Um, and I also, you can look me up on LinkedIn at Trevor Bollers.
Sounds good. And we'll include information in the show notes to find you. So check the show notes for the information.
Yeah.
And Trevor, any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
So being a football guy, I got a football thing for you.
Uh-huh.
So for a little bit, my son played for Wisconsin Badgers, right?
Uh-huh.
And one of the guys, he was an old lineman, former lineman for the Badgers. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, I love watching your son play. He's effective." And I'm like, "What in the world?" And he goes, "Listen, Barry always used to tell us, you could be the hardest worker. You could run hard. You could, you could lift hard. You can do everything, right? But are you effective?"
Hmm.
Right? So with all of that stuff that you put into developing yourself, developing your football, when it comes down to being able to put that on the field and take somebody down to the ground as a tackler,
Yep.
right? Or complete that pass,
Right.
right? Are you effective? You know? And so yes, there is great hard work and we love hard work. And we're Midwestern, so we love hard work, right? And we believe in hard work. But then there has to become a time where that hard work is effective.
Right. Yeah, like it doesn't matter if you can run the 440, but you can't hold on to the ball while you're running the 440.
Exactly. Be fast as fast as it can be. If you can't catch the ball, you can't hold on to it. We can't gain yards, and that's not effective.
And so the same applies to, well, everything in life, not just business or sports, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It's like that was that was really cool for me. And then, just hearing his interest in TJ, that was my son, right? And his mom and I talked about that for probably a week, about being effective in what we do and everything else like that.
Yes, and so if you're looking for effective marketing as an IT company, right now would be a great time to go to manageprospectingsystem.com. And thank you for sharing today, Trevor. It's been a great insight. I think I know I've learned some value. I'm taking away value from this, and I'm sure the audience is too.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to coming on again if it's possible.
Well, it's my pleasure. And until next time, I'm Jim Punzenberger, your host, author of $0 Advertising Strategies, and founder of ManageProspectingSystem.com. Once again, until next time, stay hydrated and caffeinated. Bye for now.